up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about some reliable guns. Arguably the most reliable guns. Today we're going to be going over 5 guns you can bet your life on. And what I mean by that is 5 guns that are so reliable that they're never going to let you down. You can use them for concealed carry, you can use them for home defense, use them for competition, you could use them to go out in the range and never have a problem. If you don't want to work on malfunction clearing, these are 5 guns that you'll really like. There's going to be a couple different platforms on this video, so there'll be something for everybody. A couple big ones, a couple of small ones, you know what she likes. Before we get into it, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Because of you guys, we have all the guns and ammunition on the channel. You guys are the biggest support of the channel, and we really appreciate you. If you want to help the channel, it's the best way to do it. Just go down to the description in this video and every video and sign up to Patreon. Also in the description of this video is the YSS. It's a youth homeless shelter in Ames, Iowa, and they could really use your help, so please go down into the description and donate to those kids. That being said, let's get right into it with number 5. The HK Mark 23. Now the HK Mark 23 has been a love of mine ever since I was a kid. Even going back to about 10 or 12 years old, I had action figures that were carrying the Mark 23 because of how cool it is. Now, not only does it have a cool silhouette, not only is it the world's largest handgun, not only is it packing 45 ACP, but it also happens to be one of, if not the most reliable handgun that has ever been tested by the United States military. Tens of thousands of rounds without a failure, 50,000 rounds without any parts breakages, and after that the gun still shot 2-inch groups at 25 yards. Extremely accurate, extremely reliable, and packing quite a punch. This gun has 12+1 of 45 ACP with a reload just a second away. Tons of accessories available for this gun if you want to put a comp on it, if you want to put a weapon light on it, if you want to put a suppressor on it, and they even have milling services out there that you can mill them for dots. We have a double single action design with a decocker and a manual safety. Very cool. We have the paddle release from the early H&Ks, which although isn't the most ergonomic, does work for right and left handers. The gun has a 5-inch barrel, which gives you quite the oomph when you're shooting that 45 ACP. You can pile these off super fast, and again, I want to mention that it is extremely reliable. I think it's probably the most reliable and shootable 45 ACP I've ever owned, so that's how it earned a spot on this list. If you're looking for home defense, or if you want the world's largest concealed carry gun to show off at the barbecue, I think it's a good way to go. Now the downsides of the Mark 23 are that they are just a hair dated in ergonomics compared to the modern day HKs like the VP9s, and I think the biggest drawback is probably going to be price and availability, like pretty much every H&K. The Mark 23 only comes into the country in small batches, so if you see one, I would pick it up, and if you do see one, you're probably going to see it for $1,500 and up, so be ready to pay for it or donate one of your kidneys. In at number 4, we have one of, if not the most reliable pistol caliber carbine or sub gun. This is the CZ Scorpion. This particular one is the 3+, which is the newest generation of the small boys. Now, I actually have the big version of this and the old version of this as well. Not only am I a CZ fan, but I'm a big Scorpion fan. This guy runs a very, very simple blowback operation, but it does it better than most. Now, blowback operated 9mm carbines are some of the most reliable in the world, and I think the CZ Scorpion might take the cake. This guy is not just designed for going into matches like a JP5. It's not designed for super smooth shooting, but it is designed to be drugged through the mud in Czechoslovakia and still work when it comes out the other side, in which case the CZ Scorpion does a great job. Big controls, easy to use, simple, and it works. This one here comes with a 5-inch barrel, but they make 16-inch carbines as well. This one has a folding brace adapter or stock, a solid grip, and decent trigger with ambi controls on both sides, mag release, and safety. Very, very lightweight, so you can carry it all day long, and magazines are readily available, 30 and up, whatever you want. You can put different muzzle devices on it. They come with different rails if you want, and it has a full pick rail on the top. Now, one of my favorite parts about the Scorpion is its charging system. It has a side charger here, which I do prefer over the AR style. I think one of the coolest features of it, though, is that it does fold all the way in case you want to store it. It stores in a very small package. So if you're looking for an affordable PDW under $1,000 that you never want to malfunction, I think the CZ Scorpion is a solid choice. In at number 3, we have maybe the most reliable semi-automatic shotgun of all time. This is the Marine's best friend, the Benelli M4. Now, if it looks weird, it's not tricked out. This is actually the Generation 2 that nobody seems to be talking about. I actually picked this up a couple of weeks ago, and I've yet to make a full video, but don't worry, you will see one. Now, the Benelli M4 is a very interesting gun and a bit of a departure from Benelli, who traditionally makes inertia-driven shotguns. This guy actually runs the Argo system, which is sort of a self-cleaning piston system, which is capable of thousands of rounds in a row with no cleaning, because, you know, self-cleaning. It has an 18-inch barrel, and this one actually has full capacity right from the factory instead of those stupid limiters that you have when you get it from Italy. This one you can actually run 7 rounds instead of 5, which is great. We have a pistol grip system here, we have an adjustable stock, and we have one of the lowest recoil impulses of any shotgun on the market. But the real claim to fame of the Benelli M4 is obviously not only its reliability in civilian use, in law enforcement use, but the reliability test that not only the Marines, but the United States military did as a whole. It absolutely shined, and it was one of the most reliable shotguns they've ever tested. On top of that being a semi-automatic, which is notoriously one of the most unreliable systems that you can use, the Benelli M4 really was a departure from its counterparts in the late 90s. Even today, it's maybe the most reliable shotgun on the market. Now, add the fact that you can have 7+1 of double-aught buckshot, and you can literally lay down a hail of fire of 42 projectiles in about 2 seconds. It makes the power and the shootability of this gun almost second to none. Now, add the fact that it's one of the coolest looking guns on the market, and it's been in all kinds of pop culture from Call of Duty to John Wick. It's hard not to love the Benelli M4. Now, some of the cons of the gun are going to be a little bit more recoil than your standard AR-15, and obviously it's going to be pricey. There are some Turkish clones available, some of them good, some of them bad, but if you're looking for a solid, reliable gun, I'd go with the Italian girls all day long. Ask my wife. At an MSRP of around $2,000, it is pricey, but I think she's worth it. In at number 2, we have Old Faithful. Oh, my buddy, the M&P 2.0. Now this guy, if it looks familiar, is one of my older guns. I've actually had this for about 5 years or so. And as you can see, it's a little rusted, but not as rusted as it should be. This is actually the gun that we left outside my house for over 2 months. I think it might have been 2 or 3 months. We left it outside. It got rained on and it just sat there forever until I eventually picked it up, racked the slide, and it shot an entire magazine after being left outside for over 60 days. Okay, M&P, which is very impressive considering that these are also really affordable. The M&P has sort of been riding shotgun to the Glock for a long time, and I'm not really sure why, because in my personal opinion, it is a superior platform. It has the 1911 style grip angle, which I like better. Nowadays with the 2.0 system, it has a much better trigger in it, although this is one of the older ones, and this is actually an Apex trigger. I think it has better sights, steel sights out of the factory, and I think the recoil impulse and the grip is better than the Glock personally. Now, as far as reliability goes, I've actually had better reliability with M&Ps on the channel than I have had Glocks. My M&Ps have passed my reliability test, where my Glocks did not. I do believe the M&P is probably one of, if not the best polymer frame pistol you can get if you're looking to do serious use. I like the PVP, I like the P10C as well, but I do carry a shield after all, so you can see my opinion. Now, the 2.0 compact is probably the M&P that I've shot the most besides the shield, and it also has been unbelievably reliable. This guy is a 4-inch 9mm with a polymer frame and a striker fired trigger, almost exactly the same as your Glock 19, just with a little bit better ergonomics, at least for me. Now, I'm not hitting on you Glock guys too much, but you guys know Glock's the gold standard, and if you actually shot a Glock and then you shot this, I think you would be pleasantly surprised how well the M&P does. I prefer the M&P backstrap system just because of my bigger hands. I prefer the texture, I prefer the angle, and I prefer the slightly lower recoil impulse that I feel on the M&P. That being said, if you don't, I completely understand. But I do feel like the M&P 2.0 is the more reliable of the two, at least for me. Now, maybe not the most reliable for overall military track record, but I would say the M&P 2.0 is one of the most reliable guns we've had on the channel, and I certainly would trust my life with it, and I think you can too. Now, there are an absolute shit ton of different M&Ps, so if you don't want the standard polymer frame striker fired compact like this, they make a full size, they make a long slide, they make slim versions like the Shield, and Smith has also been very good, unlike Glock, at making different variations for different people, so they come out of the factory good to go. For example, the new Shield Plus carry comp, or the new 2.0 metal carry comp, or even the 2.0 metal, which we reviewed last year, which was a 5-inch with a Taron Butler cut on it, which looks sick as shit. Now, there won't be any honorable mentions for this video. We did have a video a couple months ago where we talked about some handguns you can bet your life on, so if you want to reference that, and we also plan on doing a follow-up video to this since you guys wanted a whole bunch of these lists, which we can do for you. Don't worry about that. So without any further ado, in at number 1, we have the BCM 14.5. Now this is one of my go-to guns. This was my truck gun for a very long time. It currently isn't because I'm testing some other things, but if I'm having a truck gun or I'm having a home defense gun, it almost always has BCM on the side of it. BCM is a Wisconsin company. I actually picked up a gun magazine years ago where they did like the Filthy 50K or something like that, and I was like, what does that mean?
Ooh, that sounds sexy.
I looked it up and I found out these guns go like 50,000 rounds without cleaning with almost no malfunctions. Super durable, super proven, and even if you go to like the special forces operators, like the guys from GBRS group or anything, those guys are even running BCM. Now on top of that, you can get a solid rifle out the door for about $1,500. There's really no excuse not to have a very reliable rifle. This one here has a 14.5-inch barrel with a pin surefire war comp. I also have a 13-inch M-LOK rail on it, which is very durable. The M-LOK system on the BCMs is one of the best, so if you want to run night vision, you can do that. The lockup system is very solid. Going down to the receivers, we have an all metal construction, and then we have a solid mil-spec trigger, of which I've changed out for a Geisley and seen no reliability issues. We have BCM stock on it, and I did change the grip, but BCM's grip is pretty good as well. Now as far as an AR-15 goes, I think the AR-15 is probably your best choice for self-defense. If I was in a home invasion situation, if I was in a mass shooter situation, if I was in any situation where I had to handle more than one person and I had to do it quickly and I had to do it precise, I would choose an AR-15 rifle over any other platform. I personally have the most experience with them. I think they're extremely lethal, especially with 77 grain up close. I think they are very shootable, and I have handed BCM AR-15s to people who have had no experience, and they've been able to hit accurately at 50 and even 100 yards relatively quickly. Extremely shootable, extremely ergonomic, and overall the best platform that you can use for self-defense. Now, other than being the best platform, I think Bravo Company is probably the best for the money as far as accessories and as far as reliability, so it is my choice for number 1, the best gun you can bet your life on. Let me know if you agree with me in the comment section below. I know I left off AKs because I'm not really an AK guy, although I would consider that maybe an honorable mention. Pretty much any reliable AKM will do the same job, although for me, I'm an AR boy. I live in the Midwest after all. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support our Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later. We're going to talk about the number 1 gun you can bet your life on, and that is going to be my wife trying not to sneeze. Come on, there it is. Cute little sneeze.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you had to poop or sneeze. One would have been more awkward than the other.
That's true.
Anyway,